evening and welcome to Rangers Radio. I'm Linda, and joining me on the show tonight is Bridgeman and Robert. Good evening, guys.
Good evening, Linda. Good evening, Bridgeman. Merry Christmas to you. Hope you had a good time.
Good evening to you too, and Merry Christmas, of course, to you too. Can I just say to all the Rangers fans listening in all over the world, good evening. Welcome to Rangers Radio.
How are you, Bridge? Was Santa good to you?
Santa was very good to me. He always is. My wife always buys me something nice, you know, guaranteed.
And did you leave a wee glass of milk out for him?
Shortbread and milk.
Shortbread and milk. What about you, Robert? Have things moved on? Do you leave something else now these days?
No, it's still the good old cookies and milk for myself as well, and a wee carrot for the reindeers. Don't forget them.
We'll have to go with the reindeers. Oof.
I hope everybody had a nice Christmas, and it's good to be back on Rangers Radio. Obviously, with the Ross County match being postponed, we haven't had a show since the sort of Christmas Eve game against Motherwell. So what we'll do is we'll have a wee chat about that with Robert and Bridge, get their thoughts on it, and then Bridgeman, we've got a new signing to talk about. Bridge? Yes,
new signing.
New signing, early doors, Rangers getting some business done early, Bridge.
Oh yeah, it's a young loan signing from Porto he played for.
Yes, played for Porto in his young days, but he's obviously with Wolves.
From Wolves.
Yeah, he's with
Wolves. Yeah.
He's with Wolves just now, so we're going to have a wee chat about him. But I'll get both your thoughts on the Motherwell game, Robert. Near enough a comfortable 2-win in the end, wasn't it?
Yeah, it certainly was, Linda. It was comfortable given the conditions. That was quite something the players had to endure, particularly the second half with that wind swirling around V.A.R Park. I think that was important that we got the goals early. It kind of set the tone a wee bit, and obviously second half it kind of died out a wee bit, didn't it, with the conditions and people just wanting to get into the holiday spirit and up the road with the 3 points. Yeah,
and I suppose, Bridge, with the team that we were able to put out, you know, we've ended up with another couple of injuries. John Lundstrom, after his that bad tackle he got in the previous match, wasn't available for selection. We were already without a whole list of players, Bridge, and obviously, unfortunately, Lundstrom added to the list. So considering the circumstances, the weather, you know, what Clement had to pick from, Bridge, 2-0 at Motherwell was probably a great result, eh?
Oh yeah, it was 2-0 going on 7, you know, with loads of chances. We created quite a lot of chances, and the goalkeeper, with Roy Kelly in it, plays for them. He had some great saves. So we're making some goalkeepers look really, really good, and that's the truth. But Rangers were by far and away the better team. Massive difference between the possession and so on and so forth. Until probably the last 15, maybe 20 minutes, 10, 15 minutes, when they just started to get back in the game again. Last gasp, you know, just a big long pump up the park. That's all they could do. You know the boy that gets sent off for that tackle against Lundstrom? Seriously, shocking tackle.
Yeah, absolutely, Bridge. And Robert, we obviously we made a really good start to the game. Dowell got the opening goal in the 3rd minute, and Rangers looked as if they were right up for it. They just wanted to put the game to bed early, Robert. It was a cracking goal from Kieran Dowell.
Yeah, it certainly was. What impressed me most about the kind of overall play for the goal was the high press that Clement's talked about and we've seen in recent weeks. That kind of signified, I just say, the tone in the game throughout. As soon as you start that way, you want it to last 90 plus minutes these days. So good pressure from Dowell and good link-up play with Dessers and a good finish as well. Gave the keeper no chance. I've spoke before on the show about my thoughts on Dowell. When I seen him in pre-season, he looked like he was a good addition to the squad. And again, that's another goal for him. He scored obviously the goal with Livingston at Ibrox a few months ago. So it's a crucial time for him probably with these injuries to try and get a run in the team. The same as Sterling. So it's two other midfielders that are trying to make a claim for a jersey, and they're not doing themselves any harm with their performances.
Yeah, and Bridge with Dowell, I think there was a lot of rumours going about that he was kind of told that he would have to find himself another club. He was getting shown the door at Rangers. But when Clement's been asked about him, he says that he's been working hard in the background. Dowell, he's just been unfortunate he's not been able to get into any of the match day squads. Bridge, so it just shows you everybody's going to have to play their part, and he took his goal well, Bridge.
Well, I thought he had a smashing game. Great performance by him. I think he got man of the match, and deservedly so. I think he was really, really good. He showed a lot of what we thought he was we were going to get, and unfortunately for him, he's been injured. Whenever he's come on, he's not quite clicked, But I think he clicked the other night, and I was very happy with him. And most people that would go to see Rangers and see the boy, they would think that was a really good performance by him and a great goal. Well worked, really, really well worked. But it slotted it away lovely. Really, really well done. Well done, Mr. Rob. Brilliant.
Yeah, and Robert, so we're thinking we've got that opening goal, a brilliant start. As I said earlier, Rangers were right up for it on the front foot, as you say, trying to press them at the back. And you had a couple other week and a half chances, and then the other former Norwich player, our beloved Todd Cantwell, gets his second goal of the season, and a really well worked goal for that as well, Robert.
Yeah, it certainly was. I actually thought that Sima was trying to take the shot himself, but the touch just kind of got away from him a wee bit. But Cantwell does what he does in that position. He follows up, and again, it's a good finish into the bottom corner. Uses his surface really well to get it skidding away from the goalkeeper, and from there, really, that was it. Kind of almost game over, and it was a case of when's the third coming. Unfortunately, it didn't, but we certainly created chances, and we kept going despite the conditions.
Bridge, Todd Cantwell seems to have. I'm not saying he's getting used to the Scottish game in terms of the amount of fouls that are, made on him, and he takes a bit of treatment, Bridge, during the games, doesn't he? But he was getting involved in previous games, maybe picking up the odd daft yellow card. But he seems to just think, well, I just need to, get the better of my opponents with my performances, and he seems to be coming on to his game again, Bridge.
He certainly proved that the other day. And yeah, his goal was a wonderful goal. Reminded me of the goal that Scott Arfield scored against Celtic in one of the Hampden games. Fantastic goal. Roof managed to get the ball. Great ball for Tavernier on the right. Roof managed to slow it down tight line, and Scott Arfield slotted that away. And that's what Cantwell did the other day. Sima brought the ball down. I don't think it was completely under control, but Cantwell ran in and smacked it. Really good stuff. Rangers are playing, I think, really quite well now, and lying me at last, and the boys will get a lot to look forward to for next year. But that game against Motherwell, seriously, Motherwell had absolutely nothing for us, nothing to do with it. Really and truly, there was a melee in the sort of last minute of the game, last 2 minutes of the game, and there was some fisticuffs and heads getting thrown in. I thought the referee handled it badly, the whole game badly. What a terrible tackles going in on Rangers players, and he handled, just terrible stuff for me. I think they're trying to kick Rangers off the park. I think our manager said it in an interview 2 weeks ago. They're trying to kick us off the park, and that's exactly what they're doing.
Yeah, I think Robert, he said with the Lundstrom incident, that was another one of his players, as Bridge says, kicked off the park. But the Cantwell one, Robert, there was a terrible challenge on him. I think it was the first half, Robert, where the guy came in from the back, and it was a booking all day long, Robert, and the referee just failed to take it. Failed again to take the proper action and show an early yellow card. I don't know if you remember the one I'm talking about, Robert.
Yeah, it did look quite a bad tackle, and we've seen decisions go against us when it's been tackles like that, and other teams as well involved. So to not produce a card of any sort was quite baffling. And I think had it been given the yellow, obviously V.A.R would have looked at it, and then who knows what would have been the outcome of that, because there's no consistency with V.A.R, but that's another talking point. But certainly these tackles, that we've seen a lot more of them recently, and it's no secret that they've been piling up since in the media, our injury crisis, as it's been named, has been branded about. So it seems that there's a more aggressive approach to playing us just now with these injuries, and they're liking to add to it where possible.
Yeah, and Robert, I know, tough tackling and getting in for challenges, it's all part of football. But some of these tackles recently, and we've spoken about it on the show, players are, when they play against us, it seems to be that they're allowed to commit 4, 5, 6, 7 fouls before there's a yellow card brought out. I mean, that one in itself was bad enough, in my opinion, for a yellow. But what you're also finding, Robert, is that even when the fouls are totting up for players, they don't seem to be getting the yellow cards.
No, they're certainly not. You recall your mind back to the cup final. I think it took the 87th minute for Graham Shinney to get his yellow card, and you could probably count up at least a handful of bookings or fouls in the first half alone, and that continued throughout. You've seen the Rangers players saying how many to the referee, and he just let it go. Again, you don't want to be sitting talking about referees during games, but you need a bit of consistency, and if tackles are allowed to be given out left, right and centre with no repercussions, then players are just going to keep doing it until somebody seriously gets injured.
There doesn't seem to be, Bridge, any protection up here for the kind of what you would call the good footballers, the guys that want to get on the ball and make things happen. It seems to be that you get better praise up here if you can go in and basically, put a hard tackle in or take somebody out the game, Bridge?
Look, there's a huge mismatch in the way the game's regulated up here. The referees, traditionally, in my opinion, when they're refereeing Rangers, they're very, very hesitant to give any decision for Rangers. Rather just let the game run. I think that's their attitude. Just let the game play on. Hope, and a lot of the times Rangers have got possession anyway, so they skip around it. In my opinion, the foul against the young state, Todd Cantwell that you mentioned, right down his Achilles, and I think that was a red card. 100% was a red card, in my opinion. It's just this is what's going on, and Robert mentioned the situation with Shinney. Shinney should have been red carded before half time. He should have been red carded before half time. I've not been not just yellow carded. He should have been red carded. The one he smacked into Cantwell and it with his elbow in the back of the head. That was a disgraceful, and it was on the telly. So what do you call it? V.A.R could have seen it. I don't understand what's going on. So what we're left with in Scotland here, we're left with, in my opinion, some of the worst referees that make very poor decisions when it comes to Rangers, and when it comes to anybody else, you see maybe a bit of level in it. But then you to assist the referees, we've got V.A.R run by incompetent referees. I just don't understand it. I don't understand it. So forgive me, Linda and Robert, I just don't understand it. 2 sets of incompetence running our football. No, it's not right. And Rangers are getting injured. Loads of injuries Rangers have got. Loads of them.
Yeah, maybe, Bridge, that'll be their New Year's resolution. Maybe they'll start giving out yellow cards when they're due instead of being well overdue. So Robert, we get towards half time. I think there was one more kind of really good chance. I think Cantwell had a cracking effort that Kelly tipped over the bar. Probably a bit unlucky, that one. It was a great strike for Todd.
Yeah, it was a good strike, and it was equally matched by the save, I have to be honest. The minute it left his foot, I thought it was going to be rustling in the top corner, but Keeper made a save, and again, you see that from Todd Cantwell. He's got that ability to hit the ball from range, and we know he's got it in his locker to produce things like that. So it was certainly an unlucky effort.
Yeah. And probably as we got to half time and watching the game, you were just hoping that we would maybe get a third goal and it would have absolutely killed the game off. But we didn't manage to get it, and we've obviously been in at the break 2-0 up. And Bridge, when they came out for the second half, it looked as if the conditions had deteriorated even more. And we were kicking into the win, Bridge, and you could tell a mile away that it was absolutely affecting our ability to play any sort of, fairly decent football, I think.
Yeah, I think you're right there. In fairness, I think it was happening to Motherwell as well. although the wind was at their backs, as you call it. Sometimes it's just every bit as bad. The ball just keeps running. It's difficult, really difficult to play at Fir Park in the best of times because it always attracts a bit of wind anyway, or nearly always. And I think it was a horrible day to play football. Just a horrible day. But we did well, 2-0. I mean, that's fantastic for us. And I love it. And just continue doing this, Rangers, please.
Okay, absolutely, Bridge. You would have easily taken 2-0 before we'd have taken a Bridge man as well, wouldn't we? But Robert, the only kind of a couple of instances you talk about, maybe the second half, there was the scrimmash at the end that Bridge mentioned. We'll come on to that, but we had two offside goals for Dessers. I think the first one, Yilmaz is maybe he's not maybe played him through quick enough, Robert, and he's probably a good half-yard offside. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, certainly no complaints for the first one. I think, as you say, that Yilmaz just has to release the pass a wee bit sooner, and once he gets that pass out his feet, Dessers is in and goal, and it's probably 3-0, and that would be definitely game over at that point. Motherwell would have certainly just shot themselves. I mean, opening up the Christmas presents early.
Yeah, and the thing with Dessers is, Bridge, he's not got that sort of lightning pace, so he's always trying to get that wee half yard, isn't he, Bridge? And he's got to really get the pass a bit quicker from Yilmaz.
Yeah, I think Yilmaz didn't do Dessers any favours. However, I have to say, and as far as Dessers is concerned, I think he's certainly improved, and massively improved, may I say. And I thought, to even get to those two balls to score the goals, although they were offside, I thought it was tremendous. And I think he's starting to show himself a wee bit better. I think his match fitness, I complained bitterly 3-4 months ago that the guy isn't match fit, nowhere near match fit. His eye-ball coordination was poor. It's not so poor now. It's starting to improve, and he's getting himself involved. Now, he just needs to watch himself. Don't do any roughhousing because they're just waiting for a chance to book Rangers players, in my opinion, and possibly even get them sent off for stupid tackles and that. So really and truly, they need the nice passes. From Yilmaz, I think, has just not got his touch for the passes yet. It looks like that anyway, because he made a number of passes that were just a wee bit off, and that one of them was to Dessers. So it was unfortunate.
So I think when Clement came in, Robert, Dessers wasn't even fit enough to play 90 minutes. Remember, he kept saying it, and we were all thinking, well, why is he not fit to play 90 minutes? He's done his pre-season, he's been involved in most of the games, but he's actually had to play 90 minutes recently, hasn't he, Robert?
It certainly has, and I think obviously he was one of the kind of later summer signings, so he was a bit late to joining a work in a pre-season camp, but by the time that obviously Clement came in, you'd expect him to be as close to full fitness, if not fully fit. And as you said, he wasn't able to kind of complete that full 90 minutes, but he's shown over recent weeks, due obviously to the injuries, that he's capable of doing it. And I agree with Bridge, he has kind of seemed a bit more confident in himself as well. He still has that kind of rash kind of shot now and again where he tries to do a volley and misses it, and he can produce something like he did in Betis. So there's certainly more confidence coming from Dessers, and I think that's obviously coming from the management and the belief about the squad and the whole players. So there is improvements in Dessers, but there's still a long way to go for him to get those kind of pass marks as a signing for us.
I think he's got 9 now, Robert. So I think even when you consider that he's not reached top for him, there's hopefully more to come from him. So probably 9 is not a bad return. But Robert, that second goal of his that was, that the lines that were drawn with V.A.R were an absolute joke. How anybody can say that he was offside with those lines that they showed us that they looked at, Robert, is beyond me.
Wasn't the greatest of angles, was it, really, when the camera and the lines as well? So I think, is it nowadays that they give it in the benefit out to defence, and it used to be before V.A.R it was the benefit out to attacker, so things have obviously changed with that. But again, he's on the last man, he's trying to get that half yard, and he did finish it quite well. So the good thing is, I know it was offside, but the good thing is he's in that position, he's ready to make that running movement and find the back of the net, so that's a promising thing for it. He's not sitting on his heels and anticipating, he's ready to kind of collapse onto these through balls and put the finish away. So that's pleasing to see. Unfortunately, it was just called offside. But on another day, you might have got that one.
You know, Linda, can I just say, as I said a few minutes ago, maybe 5 minutes ago, but you've got the same people that are refereeing are the same. It's the same type of people that's on V.A.R. Don't expect any major decisions for Rangers. It may not happen, you know.
I know, Bridge. It's just when you see it, I know it's not perfect V.A.R, even when you see it in the English Premiership, but when you see the lines, you know, you can near enough tell whether the person's offside. But the ones that we get shown up here, I don't know what sort of system it is we've got, Bridge, but you know, if that had been a tight game, say it had been 0-0 and, you know, and we didn't get that goal, you'd be looking at it and thinking, you know, that it just doesn't look offside. But unfortunately for Dessers it was, but two good finishes nonetheless, Bridge. And we come to that one incident that's been talked about to the nth degree. Surprise, surprise. There was a bit of a melee in our box. There's a bit of shirt pulling going on. And then unfortunately Jack Butland gets kicked in the head. And there's nothing been said about that, Bridge. And Bridge, I don't want you to get upset when you talk about this. However, give us your views.
Well, I'm not dead sure if he actually did get kicked in the head. I'm saying that in all honesty, but it looked like it. It looked like Duke also headbutted somebody. But they were claiming, I know that the Motherwell and the pundits, you know, which are the same one and the same thing, they're no Rangers, let's put it that way. And they were claiming that the goalkeeper had brought someone down. Was, well, I don't know where and how. Didn't that melee? But when the dust settled and all the players come away, the goalkeeper had the ball in his hands, which is all I wanted in that opinion. The melee, just mental, and I didn't expect anything less from Motherwell. Motherwell, a shower of thugs. No, they can't play football. They're just lost for everything, and they can only revert to that. Simply because it's Rangers, by the way, they can revert to that and start booting and screaming for everything. And they're a shocking team.
So, Robert, I suppose with that incident, you know, they did analyse it. There was a bit of shirt pulling, but I think it was from both players. And what I'm alluding to is Jack Butland definitely got caught, you know, with Stephen O'Donnell. Whether it's, you know, I don't know, intentional or not. I'm not trying to say it is, only he'll know. It looked as if it was an awkward kind of motion. But he's obviously just trying to go in and get the ball. But we were quite fortunate that Butland didn't get hurt in the incident. I think that's the point I'm trying to make, Robert.
Yeah, of course. The angle of the kind of the TV replays, again, I'm with Bridge. I don't know how much contact was fully made, and the fact that Butland didn't really react to anything. I know he's a calm, kind of collected guy usually on the park, but I think if you've been kicked in the head, you would maybe get some sort of reaction. So I don't know if he's felt a full impact or if he's just tried to brush it off and just get on with the game, which wouldn't surprise me given that's the kind of type of guy he seems to be on the park. But it was obviously, as you say, it was looked at. It is a contact sport. You're going to get these shirt pulls in the box, and if both players are at it, you can't give the benefit of doubt to one team or the other, as much as other teams will say otherwise. But the thing is, as you say, Jack Butland wasn't hurt in any way or shape or form. That didn't certainly seem to be, and it wasn't really a major talking point kind of about a red card or not. It was kind of dealt with, and that was it really. And then just the pictures and media have made it a bit kind of more looking at it.
Yeah, I think he went down after it, Robert. I think when he made sure he had the ball, but when he was just about to take, you know, the by kick, he before that he went down, you know, and he had his hand on his head as if he had, you know, had been contact made. But as you say, he's just got up and got on with it. And then there was the incident with the ball boy, and a Motherwell player shows quite a lot of dissent, Robert. Quite fortunate not to get a second yellow in that regard, eh?
Yeah, it's quite uncalled for, isn't it? These ball boys, whether the Motherwell, Rangers, whatever team, they're there to kind of give up their time and kind of do something that they enjoy, seeing the game and be part of match day kind of squad almost, or a match. And there's another incident down in England as well where a Fulham goalkeeper pushes a ball boy as well, and we've seen things in the past with Chelsea and Hazard kicking ball boys, so they'd fair get in amongst it. But no, they don't want to see scenes like that, certainly.
No. Man of the match for you, Bridge, who was your star players?
Well, personally speaking, I would have gone for Dessers, believe it or not. I thought he had a fantastic game. But I have no complaints. It was who was it who got it? Who did get it?
I think Dowell got it from
Rangers
I think TV.
I had no complaints about that. It was certainly a good game. But for me, I thought the amount of effort put in and all the rest of it, and scored 2 goals that were knocked off. One of them questionable, really questionable. I thought Big Dessers played his best game for Rangers for a while.
Robert, yourself?
That would have been Dowell for me. Just the whole kind of longevity, the way he kind of kept his levels up throughout the whole game, and he's kind of got his goal, kept the press up, and was neat and tidy on the ball. So overall, good performance for Dowell for me.
I wouldn't disagree with that, and I would say Dessers had quite a good game as well, as Bridge said, and I thought Cantwell played well. He was, particularly in the first half, he was the one that was trying to make things happen. You know, he's getting on the ball and he looked bright. So, okay, so good performance, 3 points and up the road, as they say. So, guys, we had some news today. There was some rumours going about Robert early doors, and I think it was maybe a wee bit in the media yesterday that the boy that's at Wolves, Fabio Silva, might be coming to us on loan. And just a short while ago, actually, Rangers put out a few tweets, and you don't believe it, Robert, until you see the scarf above the head.
It's the old tradition, isn't it? It's all this media talk, especially around transfer window time. You get all these names mentioned, left, right and centre, linked to the club, whether it's previous players or players that aren't playing, players that are in form, anybody. But yeah, as you say, as soon as the pictures are there, that's when you kind of start to believe it. And yeah, looking forward to that kind of signing. Kind of interests me a wee bit. So
21 years of age, Robert. Big money move. He moved to Wolves for I think it's 35 million. It was reported. That was 3 years ago. He's only 21 just now. A forward player, Robert, and obviously it's not quite worked out for him. Down at Wolves, although he has had a couple of loan periods as well where he's done well abroad. But as you see, quite an exciting prospect to have at the club.
Yeah, I think it's probably quite easy to look at the age and go 21-year-old came with a price tag of 35 million, as you say, to Wolves. There's obviously something there, came through the ranks at Porto, made his debut at the age of 17 with them, and it's not something you see often, especially over in Portugal with a team like Porto. So you must have something about you. And as you say, it's not worked out fully at Wolves the way he probably wanted it to. Again, they've changed managers quite a few times, so he's probably never had the run of the mill of getting a concrete manager that maybe likes the look of him. And he's had these loan spells at Anderlecht and then most recently PSV. So a young prospect, and I'm sure he'll want to kind of come up here, rejuvenate his kind of career in a way that some of these players have done. You look at the other end of the age spectrum, you could say Jack Butland's done the exact same. He's came up here, rejuvenated his career, and he's a breath of fresh air. So hopefully this boy can add something to the squad and get us the goals that get us that title.
So we're going to hear from our new signing, Fabio Silva. So if you get yourselves on mute, and then we'll open the phone lines and get some people who come in and tell us their thoughts. So let's hear from young Fabio.
Fabio, a very warm welcome to Rangers. Welcome to Glasgow. How do you feel to be here?
I'm very happy when the people, I speak with the people about Glasgow and about the club. Everyone tell me good things about the club, the history. I played here one time with Porto against Rangers for Europa League, so I already know the warm club, the environment on the stadium, so everything is perfect. So, and for me, I'm very happy to be here, and then I want to start training with the team, to see the coach and my teammates. So yeah.
Yeah, what was your initial reaction when you heard of Rangers' interest in taking you here on loan?
Oh, it was amazing at the beginning. Everyone knows I have other options and other clubs, but when I see the option of Rangers to come here on loan, I stay very happy. It was my first option straight because I'm a player. I like to win titles, to play in the big clubs, to feel the pressure to play big competitions. So to come here, for me, since I'm a kid, when we speak about Scotland, Rangers for me was the best team here. So I want to be here to play for the fans, to play with my teammates, to at the final to win titles because it's the most important.
You said you've played here before. What are your memories from that day, and what have been your impressions wandering about today?
No, it was not so good because I remember we lose this game, so it was not so good for Porto at the time. But I'm on the bench and I come in, so it was amazing because the atmosphere was crazy. I'm on the bench and I say the atmosphere is unbelievable. The fans push the team to score, to attack. So I feel the energy from Rangers at the moment. So and now I want to come here, and I hope that they can put some energy with me too because I'm like this player. I like to feel the energy from the fans.
What can the supporters expect from you on the pitch?
Can expect I'm a player like with a lot of energy. I like to run, to fight for the team. I'm like a quality players. I like to score some goals. Of course, it's important, but I like to do assists too. I think the most important is the team because if the team is okay, I think the individual come natural. So I'm focused to help the team with quality things, to win titles, to win the games, with a good performance. And after the goals, assists come natural.
You are still only 21, but you've had a lot of experience in your career so far. You broke a number of records coming through at Porto as well. What was that time like for you at such a young age?
Oh, I started very, very early the football at 17 years old on Porto, first team. Of course, sometimes I don't play, but as you say, you give me a lot of experience to play on Premier League, I go to Holland, I go to Belgium, I play on Portugal, so a lot of teams for 21 years old, so you give me a lot of experience for 21 years old, and for me it's good because I want to come here, one more club to historic club to win titles because it's the most important, to play Europa League, good competitions, we are in the Cup too, so amazing things to play this half of the season.
You touched a bit on your previous loans there as well. How much have they helped you grow as a player both on and off the pitch?
No, everyone knows on the Wolves was not easy times for me personal because I want to play more, I want to be more important there, but the things not happen, choices. And always for me the most important is to play football, to be happy with my age, 21 years old. I want to feel free to play, to be happy, to help the team. And this is what I try to go to Belgium to play, to score some goals, to give some assists, to be too important, and the things go well there. I go to Holland and the things go well too. I win the cup, I play, I score. So last year was amazing for me to feel again the confidence of myself, to be important, to be again happiness to play football. So this half of the season start, the things not go on my ways again on Wolves, but after now with the opportunity of the club and everyone here want me here, and I want to be here too, and I want to give everything from them, and they can expect this from me. Yeah.
Do you feel that this is a positive environment to get the best out of you for the remainder of this season?
Yes, of course. In football some things can happen you don't expect. You expect one thing and after the things change. But for me, I always try to work hard, to focus on myself, to be better every day. So I try to do after the decision of the coach, of the club is different. I cannot manage this. My work is to play football, training every day. And now my focus is here to help the team here, to training every day, to be one more to help the Rangers to win some good things. And I'm very excited to be on trainings and play with my teammates.
Yeah, I guess it must be a positive for you as well for this to be completed so early before January to be able to get in with your teammates.
For sometimes it's not easy. For example, last season I go to PSV on the last days of January, so was a little bit different. Now I try to push to be here more quick as possible because I think it's important to, for example, to see the tactics, to understand better the dynamics from the team, what the coach wants from me, what I want relationship with the teammates. I know after the game on 2 we go to Spain to have more time to work a little bit more with the coach, with the teammates. So it's nice and I try to push with my agent and everything to push the things more quick as possible for me to go with the group more quick as possible to the relationship build quick.
You did touch a bit earlier as well about the challenges that lie ahead in the new year. There obviously is the Europa League as well as domestic football. How excited are you by what lies ahead here?
Of course, I think everyone play Europa League is the best games you can play. So you don't need the ambition to play these games. I think is natural. But I think we can do a lot of good things here. I see a lot of games with this new coach. And I see the team playing. I see the people play freedom with happiness. This is the most important. And I'm very happy to be here. Then I want to play with them because I see the pleasure they take with the ball, the pleasure they play together. And I like to play with these teams. And as you say, I think after if you can win everything we are playing, so it's the best because after you do a lot of sacrifices and everything, and after the titles are the most important.
Why don't you give us a call on 0141 356 1972. It's your show, it's your platform. Let's hear from you.
Thanks for that, Fox. Good to hear from young Fabio there. Robert, he came over really well, didn't he?
Yeah, certainly seems like a confident individual. The thing I liked about that interview, Linda, was he said himself he tried to push to be here as early as possible. That's quite pleasing to hear. Obviously, the board and the managers went and got it done early, but obviously it's up to the player as well. But it certainly seems as soon as we were mentioned, he was keen to be here as soon as possible, and I like that. It seems that he's keen to kind of get into the training ground and learn the tactics, as you say, get relationships and get into the first team squad as soon as possible and start doing his business on the park for us.
Yeah, Bridge, and there was other clubs interested in him, particularly up here, Bridge. So he chose to come to Glasgow Rangers, and who can blame him, Bridge?
Well, I'm delighted he's come to Rangers. I obviously never heard that any other team in Scotland was after him. But what can I say? I'm glad he's here. I say a huge big welcome to Fabio
Silva.
Fabio Silva. Welcome to Rangers, Fabio. And by the way, congratulations. You sound great. Really good English. Brilliant. So there won't be any confusion on the part when you're talking to people, Give him a ball, that kind of thing. So I know, seriously, I don't know anything about the lad. When he said he came on as a substitute, Porto game at Ibrox, and he was very impressed with the crowd and so on and so forth. And he can't believe they could beat. Well, hard luck. Don't be getting beat when you come in on Air Park and play for us. Do it well. Let's see what you've got. And remember, it's not that long ago. It was maybe about 7 years ago. A young lad came up to Man City, and he was a star, worth a lot of money. Paddy. Can't remember. He played against us in the cup final.
Right.
Paddy Roberts.
Patrick Roberts.
Yeah. I don't know where he is now. If he's playing at all, I don't know where he is. But what I mean is he was a big star, supposedly. That's what we were told. And he was going to murder us. In fact, it was a semi-final in the Scottish Cup. No, it was a final because we won in penalties.
So, Robert, it's a good point that you made about the fact that we've got this done really early, so early that he could feature in the last game against Kilmarnock. So I suppose from his perspective as well, as you said, he pushed that to a certain degree, and he gets he said, I think he joined PSV in the last day of the transfer window last January, and that wasn't ideal. But it gives him a lot of time, Robert. He'll be able to, as I say, perhaps feature next week, and then he'll get a chance to go to Spain with the squad, get to know the manager, the tactics, the rest of his teammates. So fantastic to get it over the line really early, Robert.
Certainly is, and it's a bonus as well, because let's be honest, it's the striker position's a bit of a worry just now. Obviously, Roof's injured, Danilo's injured. It's only Dessers that we've got as an out-and-out striker, so it's obviously being prioritised by Clement and the staff to go and get that done. And the earlier you get a player in, the more you can work with them and you can build the relationships as Silva talks about there, and kind of get that chemistry. And before you know it, you've got a partnership. You know who your players are, creative, who's going to give you the service as a striker. And we have a lot of the ball, let's be fair, so he's going to have a lot of chances. He just now has to take that. But good luck from Clement to obviously get this done quite early.
Reg, you wonder how much of a pull the manager was. You know, it probably goes without saying that he would have been a big factor, but you wouldn't be surprised if it was one of the kind of defining factors. Setting aside the fact that, you know, Rangers are Rangers, we're a big club, we've got a great fan base. You know, he's played at the stadium before, Bridge, but the manager will have played his part as well, do you think?
Oh, I would think so, yeah. And of course, the boy played over in Holland. He played both Holland and Belgium, maybe.
Yeah.
But you know, it's really. I think it's tremendous. If our manager has some words with the boy, which I think he would have had, and had the deciding factor, and they've done that as quickly as that. Must have been speaking to him a few days ago, without anybody knowing about it, in my opinion. And it's really what a difference, huh? What a difference. A manager can make decisions or be part of the decision making there. And it sounds as if the boy sounds as if he's really keen to come to Rangers, which is the most important thing. And let's see what he can do. The manager, 100%. This is his man. Nobody else is there to sign the players other than the manager, and he's done it.
Robert, it's not going. I don't think it's going to be. Well, you hope it isn't anyway. Going to be our only transfer signing in January, because obviously we're a bit short in numbers just now. I mean, I don't know if the rest will be loans, but sometimes, Robert, that's the type of player that you're able to bring in January. Maybe signing players on permanent deals is a bit more difficult.
It always seems to be, doesn't it? Because teams don't want to lose their best players, for example. And when you're in a player on form, you obviously put up the price tag, and not many clubs can go and trash out negotiations and get deals over the line. Particularly in January, it's always one of those ones where you just get the player just to fill the gap almost. But personally, I'd like to see us obviously do a wee bit more movement in the window. I certainly think there will be. As you said, a number of positions, centre mid being one of them, obviously with injuries. And then obviously the huge talking point will be, obviously, is there going to be another incoming up front? And will that name be a Lawrence Shankland, for example? Personally, I think that we should go and get him. He's on form, he knows the league. He fits the bill for the Scottish homegrown player quota and everything in between. He's a Rangers fan who gets it. He knows what it's like to play at the stadium. So I think that would be one that a lot of fans would like to see. Because I think if we don't get him, then we're going to miss out big time. And we've done that in the past.
Yeah, it's a good question to put out there to the listeners. Get them to come in and tell us your views on the new signing. Come in and speak to us. Are you happy with Fabio Silva? Do you still think we should go for Shankland? I know Bridge has got his own views about signings from other Scottish clubs, Bridge.
Yeah, I don't want to belabor the point in any way, shape or form. And I admire everybody saying they want to go and get the best striker in the league and things like that, which is complimentary to both the team they've got him and the player. Personally speaking, I'll say it again, I wouldn't give them one brown copper coin. Not one of those clubs deserves any support from Rangers, not one. I wouldn't give them that copper coin at all. I'm not taking anything away from the player. The player is obviously a top player. He scores goals. And I think what somebody said to me one time, maybe cutting my nose off to spite our face. Well, maybe in some people's opinion, and not in my opinion. No, not for me. Look, again, I'll say it, and I've said it then. No matter who the club go and get, my opinion won't matter on it. They go and get Shankland. I'll say welcome to Rangers, Mr. Shankland. Let's see if he can do it, and he may just do it. And I might be a happy man that's changed his mind. So all I can say is I don't want to spend any money on any players in our league. That's what I don't want.
mean, for me, Robert, it's going to maybe come down to the transfer fee. As Bridge always says, if we go after a player in Scotland, the price, does go up. But the thing about that is that Hearts have made it clear that they don't need to sell him, Robert. Obviously every player's got his price, but I think it might just come down to the transfer fee, because I think, in my opinion, he could do a job for us, and I think he would score goals for us, Robert.
He certainly will. He's top goal scorer in the league just now with Hearts, and let's be fair, they've not scored many goals as a team. He's kind of carried them on his own back. So
hello there.
Oh, sorry, Robert, I'll cut across you there. Stuart, are you in? Yes. Hello, Stuart.
I'm here, aye. How's things? All right?
Yeah,
Hi,
how's
Stuart.
yourself?
Hi, guys. How you doing? I'm just in, so I thought I'd give you a quick buzz about this new signing we've got. This one. I probably like everybody else. The first thing you do is go into YouTube and type his name in and see what like is. I guess there are a lot of people done that today.
And what did you find, Stuart?
What was that, sorry?
What did you find?
Oh, I found a lot. I mean, if you look at his pedigree, where he's come from, and the young age, he was in the Porto team at 17. I mean, he's no mug, that's for sure. He's just been through a lot of clubs for a young age. It's maybe kind of disorientated him a wee bit. It's no fun any love, if you like, if you know what I mean. Fell into the right club. I'm not saying Rangers is the right club, they can't afford them. But I think it could be like another Malik Tillman type of player. I'm really quite excited about it, actually, to be honest with you. Looking at what he's done, I can't kind of go on YouTube and say, this is it, he's going to do this, he's going to do that. But he's fast, he's good with the ball, he's no frightened to getting the head on it and stuff like that. A big lad, super fit, as he said, plenty of energy. He's a bit like Todd Cantwell, but maybe a striking role sort of thing. You see his wee flicks and all. I don't know if you've watched it, Linda. Kind of a lot of wee flicks and fancy touches.
Yes, I did see that, Stuart. I saw somebody put something on Twitter, and it was just, what he had done for Anderlecht. He was obviously there at the first part of last season. I think he'd made 20 appearances for Anderlecht and scored 7 goals. And then I think they kind of lost their way a wee bit as a team, Stuart. So, they didn't, progress. And then so they decided they would put him out and loan to PSV. And I think it was 14 appearances and 4 goals, Stuart. So he's done all right.
Yeah. Aye. I mean, I think a lot of these, I mean, it's difficult, a player coming into a different country at a young age. You know what I mean? You can't. You're not going home at night to your mother and father or your wife or your kids, or sitting in a room, a nice place, right enough. I mean, you could be the best player in the world if that. I mean, I heard Bridge talking about that guy Roberts. I think he lost his way with that. It looked a great talent and all the rest of it, but some people just can't handle the travelling about. They're kind of home players. I mean, that's what I like about Shankland. Is for Scotland, I don't know where he stays. It'll be an hour away from Ibrox type thing, or the training ground. Could hit the ground running, will improve his fitness a wee bit. I think he needs to be improving his fitness just a wee bit. And I see his pre-match meal was beans and toast. I'm not a health sort of thing, but I didn't like the look of that at all. So Clement would knock that out of him and get him into a wee bit better shape, get an extra kind of couple of 20% into his game for movement and fitness. So I think all in, I would really be happy. If we got these 2 guys in, I'd be definitely happy, that's for sure.
Yeah. Robert, some feedback for Stuart there. He's happy to take Shankland and delighted with the Fabio signing.
Yeah, like Stuart said, Silva is obviously just a young boy, and he's obviously wanting to get in amongst the team, get his goals and his assists, which he mentioned in his interview. He likes to do that part of it as well. It's not just about scoring goals for him. I think that's something you look at a young striker coming in, you go, a 21-year-old, they've not maybe got the greatest experience, but they have a willingness and a keenness to get in and make a name for themselves. But what a better stage to do it at Glasgow Rangers. He's going to have the league, he's going to have the European football. He said he's joining the biggest club in Scotland. As his fans, we love to hear that. But that's not even a lie. We are the biggest club in Scotland. We're the only team in Europe. So from Scotland. Right. So he certainly knows what he's talking about. He's felt the atmosphere. Looking forward to the signing. Shankland, again, I've just said it. I would go and get him. I know obviously Bridge is saying that he wouldn't give him a penny, and I get that about the whole kind of Scottish teams against Rangers and things. But if we want to improve our squad and get winning titles, this boy can fire us the goals. He knows the back of the net. He's been prolific for Hearts this season. He's carried them into the position they're in with the amount of goals that he scored for them alone. And as Stuart said, he maybe can add maybe 10-20% to his game, but he'll certainly be able to do that at Rangers. For me, I would still go and get Shankland.
Definitely.
Yeah, Bridge, the boy Fabio coming in, it's maybe quite similar to Sima. You know, he had the big money move to the English Premiership and it didn't quite work out for him, but Sima's been doing well up here, Bridge.
Yeah, I like Sima. He came on. I mean, I watched him his first game for us, and I thought his looks not too bad, but he was playing centre forward. So since then, he's come on. He's a fetch and carry type of guy as well, and you see him back in defence, which is tremendous. He covers the whole pitch, and he can put the ball away quite well sometimes. And I think he's been a great loan player for us. Whether in fact we want to go and sign him or not, I don't know. Obviously, that's up to the manager. But yeah, you're right. The similarities there, you know, coming in at a certain stage. And I hope, like the boys say, I hope that the boy comes in and he gets tore right in there and settles himself into the team and makes sure that he's in a position and his play forces the manager to pick him, because he should be wanted to be getting picked every week. Whether our manager is crazy enough to do that, that's up to him, you know. But seriously, I think the boy, if he played for Porto, we played Porto and I saw Porto playing, and they were a marvellous team, really good team, very clever, incisive passing and things like that. So if he was part of that, then welcome to Rangers. But once again, welcome to Rangers.
And Stuart, young Fabio was saying there as well that he just wants to play football, and that's why he's gone out on loan a couple of clubs, Stuart. So he's got to be commended for that, I think, hasn't he?
Well, definitely. I mean, obviously, I heard them talking. I've listened to the interview 2 or 3 times because you can't pick everything up. But you're exactly right what he said there. He wants to play football. So there must be some kind of assurances that he's going to be involved. He wants to play. He's at the age where he wants to play. He's been around the houses, if you like. So he definitely wants to play. So I think Clement's going to kind of be able to play against that type of thing. So I think that could be his debut. I mean, Dessers, he's had a lot of run about, and he's, as Bridge says, he's not 100%. He never looks sort of that fit. But he's played all the games, I know, but it's just that lacky pace that he's got. And I heard what you were saying, he goes that half a year early because he's not got the pace, or somebody's maybe not playing it to his system. So this will be a totally different guy coming in. He's quite a big lad as well, and I'm really quite excited about it. People say, he's a foreigner, he's on loan again, we've got another loan player. I'm not interested in that. You're getting these guys, they're plucked out of a tree, if you like. They've had big transfer fees. They're a bit lost in the wilderness. We're taking them in. We're bringing them up so they're going to go back somewhere and they might benefit from it. But we're benefiting from it too. If you look at Sima, what Sima's added to his game probably, and I've watched him previously, is the defensive side of it. I mean, you seen that tackle, I can't remember who it was, in the last minutes, I think it was against Betis, I'm not sure, it was against Betis. Got that boy right in the byline, or the ball was coming across or something, you know. For me, he was absolutely fantastic. Energy. I mean, he came to Rangers, he was never like that, but he developed that in the game. So we're getting these guys in, they're no mugs, they're good players in their own sense, their own right, and we're kind of enhancing what they've already got. I will lose them. We can't afford this guy. What is he, 25 million or something? Sima was maybe, 10, 15 million. But we're getting the benefits here, if you know what I mean. We're getting the benefit. So I'm quite happy. Going on about Shankland, what worries me about Shankland, and Hearts are going to dig their heels in wanting big money, and we're not going to pay that. For me personally, I would say, if we gave Hearts £1 million plus Lowry, I would be happy with that, but I know it's not going to happen. We'll just have to wait and see, though. But we can't be ripped off with £3 million. That's not going to be any good.
I don't even know how much Lowry's been featuring. I know that's a good point you make that, Stuart, because I know it's been muted. Would we do a a player plus a fee. And as we said earlier, it seems that Hearts are, all the noise that's coming out of them is that they don't want to sign him, and apparently, Robert, they're going to offer him a new contract, but they're not exactly going to come out and say the opposite of that, are they, Robert? They're going to play their cards close to their chest, and like they're intimating that they don't need to sell him. They're not desperate for the money.
No, they're right, London. In a way, if it was our player, we'd be doing the exact same. We would be putting the value up if we had a player on form and clubs were sniffing around them. We would try and offer a new contract, all the talk. Hearts have got every right to do it. It's their player, it's their club captain as well. He's basically, as I said, he's carrying them this season, so they've got the right to put that value and everything on the media part of it. But ultimately, if the player wants to leave and wants to move, we don't know. Do you know what I mean? We don't know what goes on behind closed doors. If he tries to force through a transfer request, then Hearts are left a wee bit up against it when the player wants to leave, and they'll not want any discouragement in their dressing room as well. So it'll be an interesting few weeks. I know you're talking about value there, but when it comes to a player on form, you're going to put that up, and he's got 18 months left in his contract. He's a player in form, he knows the league, so if you're talking about money with no players, you're probably looking about £2 to £3 million maximum.
Yeah, I think you would need to go in. I don't even think they'll entertain if you don't even start with maybe a couple of million, Robert. And then you think if they start to get silly money like 3 or 4 million, you're probably thinking, well, is he worth that? But Stuart makes a good point, Robert, about the fact that for January it's a balancing act with these transfers, and if we can get somebody in for just the 6 months, like young Silva, and we get good value. I know we didn't in the past when we brought in somebody like Aaron Ramsey, but that was a whole different ball game, Robert, wasn't it? This is a different type of loan for us, I think.
It is always a risk in the loan market when you take a player in on loan, whether it's 6 months or a season. As you said, we've had Ramsey, who wasn't up to speed, and then you've had the types of Danilo, wasn't up to speed, and then the flip side is you've got Ryan Kent. So it can pay off at times, but if you get the money, I think it's the total cost of the loan is £2 million reportedly. So if you can get a good run in Europe and a league title with that, then you've got your £2 million back if he gets the goals for it.
Yeah, Bridget, it'll just depend on how the boy does, isn't it? The boy Silva, as Robert said, it can be risky, but so can a permanent transfer as well, as we've found out. But if Fabio comes in, he makes an impression, it'll be money well spent, Bridge.
Well, I don't doubt for a minute that based on what we know about our manager, he'll make sure it's money well spent. And yeah, that's why I said earlier, the first thing the manager will want is get him on the park and keep him on the park. Get your 6 months or whatever it is you're going to get out of him. Every game, play him. And obviously, he's got to be fit enough to be played every game. But he's a young laddie, 21, and he's got a lot of skills. And I'm sure he can score goals too. And I don't know, because I haven't seen any YouTube, so I don't know. But that's what I'd be looking. I'm sure the Rangers club will be wanting the best out of this laddie. If it's £2 million, then make sure you get your money out of it. So when we get to the end of the season, we're still playing for something, and possibly even still be in Europe. That would be wonderful. Wonderful. I'm sure all the Rangers fans would accept that. Great.
So guys, we're going to continue this chat after the tune. We're good to get some more callers in. Give us your thoughts. Are you happy with the signing? Would you sign Shankland, or is there somebody else that's caught your eye? So if you get yourselves on mute, we're going to have a tune.
Took a trip to Eyebrow, my favourite team for to cheer, where they were playing the Glasgow Celtic on the first day of the year. Now the ground was filled to capacity as the teams come out to play. The animals sang the soldier's song, and the people sang Dolly Gray. Now half-time it came and went. The Glasgow Celtic were in the lead. Fenian Tully was drowning everywhere, shaking his rosary beads, while the green flags they were flying high. Celtic hearts were full of pride. The second half, sure it started, and the Rangers they turned the tide. Won't you play up the Glasgow Rangers? Oh, play up the boys in blue. Oh, play up the Glasgow Rangers. We're here to cheer for you. Now the ball goes out to Waterloo, and from 30 yards he did score. Sure you couldn't hear your ears at Ibrox Park, for the sash my father wore. Oh, play up the Glasgow Rangers. Sammy Cox is on the ball. He slips it through to Willie Woodbarn. Then on through to Ian McCall. McCall to Billy Simpson. Oh, here come the boys in blue. Well, Simpson beats the Celtic centre half, and in goes number 2. Now the Rangers fans are roaring. Jardie Young, he takes a free onto the head of William Simpson. And then goes number 3, while it's 3-1 for the Rangers. That was the final score. A happy new year from Ibrox Park, for Rangers beat the Celtic once more. Yes, a happy new year from Ibrox Park, for Rangers beat the Celtic once more. Yes, a happy new year from Ibrox Park, for Rangers beat the Fenians once more.
Why don't you give us a call on 0141 356 1972. It's your show, it's your platform. Let's hear from you.
Thanks for that, Fox. Hope you all enjoyed that. Nice wee tune to take us into the second half of the show.
Very good.
Stuart, I don't think that position that, you know, in terms of the forward line, we've been struggling with obviously the injuries. So quite nice to get somebody through the door quickly, you know, to help us out up front. But what would you say, what other positions do you think he's going to look to strengthen?
Well, obviously, you'll be looking at a midfielder for me, to be honest with you. I'm thinking he'll maybe bring 3 in and some will go out. I hope he phones Beale at Sunderland and say, look, you fancy taking Lammers for 6 months? That would be handy, but it's not going to happen. You know who I like? I don't know if you've seen this. I've watched him a few times. I read a lot on the internet and stuff like that. The young boy that plays for Dundee, left back, Beck, his name is. I think he's on trial, on loan for Liverpool. What a player that wee boy is, I'm telling you. He's rapid, good on the ball, one-on-ones. You hardly get by this guy. Watch him if you get a chance, honestly. He looks really good. There, we can tap him up for Liverpool, I don't know. I'd maybe like to see, I get a feeling Yilmaz could maybe go. I get that feeling. And I get a feeling another left back would come in. Midfielder, it's always a hard one. I mean, if you're getting Shankland in and there's Silva and Danilo comes back and you've got Dessers, it's going to be hard to keep them all happy, which makes me think Danilo's maybe out for a bit longer. I just get that feeling it might be. But I'd like another kind of midfielder in there. I mean, Dowell's come onto a game, which I'm really delighted about. Absolutely fantastic. His left foot he's got, and he's got a wee bit of dig as well. So all in all, the injuries, it looks bad, but I'm still confident that he'll get the right amount of players in, whatever that is. I think 3, and hopefully he can get 2 out. I'd like to see Lammers gone out, if you like. I really would. But I don't know. We'll just have to wait and see. I trust the manager. Absolutely, 100%. No, that's for sure.
Yeah. Bridge, it's difficult to actually even think about who could go out the door in January because there's so many players injured, Bridge.
Well, I think there's a few Rangers fans are not, well, a lot more than a few, would like to see certain people going out the door because they have been woeful for us, and others are still, unfortunately, are maybe a bit injured. But there's some of them, to be honest, they've spent them all. Their season or their career at Rangers is probably over in a lot of folks' minds. But I can't name them, obviously, because that wouldn't be fair. But everybody knows there are certain players would like the Rangers would like to get their wages off their books, as they say, and that would be great. Let's just move on. Lammers, I've said it. Lammers is probably one of them, I must say. He doesn't look as if he's improved, not even one wee bit. You know, that's what it looks like to me. So there's loads of money that Rangers are paying out in top dollar. Obviously, there's ones that have been injured, and the treatment that Danilo's taken in our games has been nothing short of disgraceful. And then you ended up with a guy being injured and going to miss probably the rest of the season. And it's just bad play, just bad fouls on him. That's what it's been, in my opinion. So I don't want anybody coming in and thinking we'll just move this guy on for no reason. These guys are injured. Rangers are going to have to look after them. That's what I'm saying. But others can go, definitely. We've got loads of them that can go.
Suppose, Robert, it's quite a bit of work the new director of football, Niels Copin's, going to be undertaking when he starts on the 1st of January, Robert.
Yeah, I dare say that he's probably already started looking and having conversations with Philip Clement already. We know they two worked previously together, and I think that's what interests me about the Fabio Silva signing. He's obviously been on loan at PSV, and that's where Niels Copin's coming from. So it's not like it's a random signing. It seems that it's kind of behind the scenes spoken about, and he'd have seen him firsthand at PSV a lot closely. He'd have probably been part of that negotiation to get him there as well. So it all comes together in a way. It's like Clement and Coppins, as I said, have worked together. They've identified a player, and it seems to be that obviously Silva is one that they're both keen to work with. He's keen to come to the club and do his thing. But in terms of outgoings, it will be a few. But as you said earlier, Linda, it's not as easy to get players in, and it's not as easy to get players out in a January window. And to get out, you have to be playing and have to be identified by other clubs. And if these players that we mentioned, excuse me, like Lammers, if they're not getting a lot of game time and not performing, nobody's really want to take a risk on them.
I suppose, Stuart, as well, one of the ones that we might have been talking about going out the door would have been somebody like Kieran Dowell, and only because we hadn't really seen him, Stuart. He hadn't featured at all, but he's come in the last couple of games and he's done okay, Stuart, hasn't he?
Aye, well, I mean, when you've seen him a couple of times, just sort of wee cameo kind of roles, he was never fit, if you like. He was kind of maybe 50-60% fit. But what you can't take away is he's got ability to he could move across the park quite well. He's got a great left foot. He really has. Could put a good ball through. And I could see him, I would put him man of the match against Motherwell as well. I thought he was really, really good in their conditions. I mean, he was putting some good balls through. The weather was atrocious. So I think he's coming on to a game. And I think Clement he never sort of said he's going out the door. He just says there are a lot of players in this is his way of galvanising people. There are a lot of players in front of you. You've been injured, so then you'll be injured. You'll have a better chance. Because I think the fact that there are a lot of injuries, they've not been utilising the equipment and facility that they've got there to maybe aid their injury, I think that's really annoyed him, and I think he's going to put all that into place. But he still inherited a lot of problems with injuries. But I think he's trying to get on top of that, and I think he'll not really get on top of that till the summer. But he's managing it now. As he said, it's a jigsaw, it's a puzzle. I think he quite likes it, to be honest with you. He likes the sort of... what he loves, you can see it in him, he loves the pressure. He's not going to wilt under the pressure. You get managers that come in, maybe. When you look at Gio, he played in the big games and all that, but I felt he wilted a wee bit under the pressure. And he said it himself, the pressure was intense, he couldn't handle it. And you hear what Clement's saying, his first wife left him or something because he was always thinking about football. And that's what you need. And he loves this pressure. And I was listening to Mike Arteta talking about something. He said he loved Rangers, he loved the pressure that you have to win every week and you have to score an extra goal. He said you can't get that elsewhere. He said you need that pressure. And Clement loves it, and he's putting that into the players now. And there'll maybe no be as injuries, but you can't help, like say what happened to Lundstrom. That was terrible. And as Bridge was saying earlier, a really bad one that should have seen V.A.R was the guy, Shinnie, just elbowing Campbell right in the base of the net. He could have bloody snapped his neck at one point, So I don't know. I think there's a lot of... He thrives on pressure, Clement, and he's putting that to his players, and you'll see a big difference going into the second part of the season if they would come back to Spain, to be honest with you.
Yeah, Bridge, it's funny how that pressure, they all talk about it. I mean, Silva mentioned that in his interview as well, Bridge, that he wants to play in that environment where there is pressure to win every game. And it's funny how sometimes it's just it's no for certain people, Bridge. They basically they wilt under the pressure.
Yeah, that's a good honest truth. A lot of folk think, well, I'm going to a big team. They might realise they're going to a big club. But the pressure that's on that club and everything about the club, and from the top to the bottom, there's enormous pressure to perform at the highest level. And, and you can see it. We go to Ibrox at the weeks, and we see it, and we think to ourselves, that they're not good enough. And, we give all the criticism and all the rest of it. But at least this time we've got a manager that's driving them, and he's driving them through. And a lot of these players are starting to pick their game up and show that they've got a wee bit. And some of these players will be able to handle the pressure, because it's all about handling the pressure, isn't it? We are one of the biggest clubs in the world by a long way. We don't have the riches of a Real Madrid and a Manchester United and things like that. But my God Almighty, are we massive, huge support. And it's all coming down off the stands on top of the players to perform and score. There's an expectation. We should win every game. That's probably, we should have got that written into our badge somewhere. We should win every game. That's the difficulty. That's the pressure. It's massive.
So, Robert, we've got a feel-good factor about the club and the support just now. We're obviously not taking anything for granted. It was a bit disappointing, I think, about the Ross County game being off, albeit it's given us a wee bit more time to prepare for a huge game at the weekend, Robert. We'll obviously dive into that a bit sort of deeper tomorrow night in the show, but we're starting to build up to a huge game at the weekend, Robert, and we'll hear the presser tomorrow, but it'll be interesting to see what the squad's shaping up like for the weekend, eh?
Yeah, certainly a massive game, and unfortunately, as you say, the game postponed last night means that a victory on Saturday wouldn't put us top of the table for New Year, which is probably a small thing in a big picture. Seeing as we made it snow on the A9 in Block Ross County from not getting to Glasgow, some people will suggest.
It's funny that, Robert, we're in cahoots with everybody.
I know, anything to stop us going top of the table, we'll try and do it as well. Do you know what I mean? It's scandalous and ridiculous comments I seen yesterday on social media. But no, certainly a massive game. You mentioned the feel-good factor there. Clement's still unbeaten, so long may it continue obviously into the weekend. And had that game been played last night, again, it would have got us the 2 points away from going top of the table. But I suppose the silver lining is it gives them that extra recovery time to go on Saturday. Any boys that had maybe knocks of maybe 80 and 90% should be 100 coming the weekend. I think you said previously that the squad that was in kind of around the Betis game and the Aberdeen game was the squad until the end of the year. So I don't imagine any big surprises or big returns. It'll be this kind of the same team that lined up against Motherwell. I'd imagine maybe a change at left back if Barisic is okay to return, and that'll probably be it. I don't think there'll be any real surprise of a returning player. You never know.
Yeah, Stuart, it's quite conceivable that we'll be going into the Parkhead game with a midfield of Dowell, Sterling and Cantwell. Who would ever have thought that, Stuart?
I know. That's just the way the cookie crumbles, if you like. Yeah, it's just I mean, if somebody had told me that maybe 3-4 weeks ago, I'd be saying, "That's what you've been drinking," type of thing. You know what I mean? So, as I say, Clement's a sort of solution for it. He's kind of bringing these players up. I mean, he thinks about 3 games ahead. Although he says, "I'm taking 1 game at a time," and he's got that mentality that the players here Cantwell the other day. He's kind of been subdued a bit. I think Clement's maybe said, "Look, don't get into rash tackles on the park. If you get hit, take it. And watch what you're saying on media now. You're saying all this thing, we're taking a game at a time. Let Clement think 3 or 4 games ahead, because that's his job. How can I fit these guys in? How can I do that?" So, I mean, going back to the Ross County game, when I first heard it, I thought, "Oh, Christ, I was looking for it." But within a couple of settings, I thought, you know what, that's a good thing, actually. I was quite pleased about it. Because as Robert says there, let's other boys because we've had a hectic time. Motherwell takes a lot out of you in the park. Ibrox would be a bit heavy. So just the way things go, you'd maybe get an injury or something, you know what I mean, to a Balogun or something like that, which would be a nightmare if you lost a boy like Balogun for this game. So he's a key guys. I think Golson's key, but for me, Balogun is the man for me, like at this stage of the season anyway, you know. So I was quite happy that it was kind of postponed, and let's see what it brings them more and what we've got. But if it's got to be Sterling and Dowell, I'm quite comfortable with that. Dowell will be the one, Sterling will be the one kind of sitting in a bit tight, if you like, breaking the play up. He's got great pace. Dowell's got good pace as well, but he could sweep the ball. But it's really not too bad. I mean, let's be honest with you, I'm quite happy. I'm quite comfortable with it, you know what I mean. That's what I would say, comfortable.
Bridge, I think if we didn't have Clement as our manager, we might be a bit more concerned, although there is some elements of concern, Bridge. I don't know what you think yourself. I know Connor Golson went off at the end of the Motherwell game there with a wee bit of I think he said he had a bit of a groin strain. I think Connor's the sort of guy, Bridge, that will, you know, unless it's really, really serious, he'll make sure he's okay for Saturday, won't he?
I would think so, yeah, I think so. We must be under no illusions. If he's done something with groin, then it has to be, his fitness is most important. And if he says he's not fit, we have to live with it. However, obviously the character of the guy is great, and I'm actually expecting him to play from the start and declare his fitness. And of course, the mere fact that that game wasn't on last night is maybe a bonus to him, you know, because he may in fact have been, shall we say, in the pool for that game. I don't know, but it's crazy. But your best centre forward pairing at the moment of Golson, centre half pairing, Golson and Balogun. We desperately need they two to be playing and playing at their best. Left back, well, got a lot of work to do, that boy. I don't know whether Borna Barisic is fit enough to play, but Yilmaz may come on. Obviously, Tavernier will still be there, but our defence is quite shaky when they're under pressure, so we need it to be stiff and hard. And I don't know about the boys in midfield. I take my hat off to them. They're going into battle against, well, one of the slickest midfield boys at the moment in the league. So you need to get in there quick. Get our first tackles in and do the business. That's what we need to do.
Thing is, Robert, we know what sort of game it's going to be to a certain extent, don't we? They usually come out like, you know, attack all guns blazing. I know it's not been as much as that under this current manager as it was under Postecoglou. You know, they're maybe not as much attacking from the off. But you probably think that will be the kind of ploy that they'll adapt at the weekend, Robert. So we need to be just on our toes, particularly in the defence, don't we?
Yeah, we certainly do. But I don't want to kind of jump gun, but the pressure is not on us. The pressure's on them. They're in front of their home fans. They've had a few shaky results. Some are not happy with the manager. Some are even booing Santa Claus when he's on the park. they're going to have a full stadium of their fans. So the pressure's all on them. We're just going to focus on our game, and that'll be the mentality that we know Clement is going to put across to the players. Focus on our game. Be patient. The goal might not come within the first 10 minutes as we did against Motherwell, or even the first 5 minutes. But as long as we stick to our game plan and our focus, I don't see anything other than Rangers winning Saturday. And I think the idea that it's going to be a full stadium for them with no fans for us, I think that would just add a bit of spice to Clement to get these players to go and get a result and show them up at their own park.
Well said, Robert. Guys, we're heading into the kind of final sort of 50 minutes of the show, 45 minutes of the show, so it would be nice to get some more callers in, so let's hear from you.
Why don't you give us a call on 0141 356 1972. It's your show, it's your platform. Let's hear from you.
Stuart, our defence have actually, you don't want to jinx it, Stuart, but they've actually been playing well enough to the extent that we're not conceding a lot of shots on target. And our goals conceded numbers are actually been quite good, Stuart.
I think I can't remember how many goals. 8 goals we've got or something in the league, something like that. And 8 goals in the league, Stuart. Yeah. Yeah, I thought that. I was looking at that the other day. I was just looking at the goal difference kind of scenario. And that's really good. I mean, if somebody had said to you, right, at the start, once the Beale situation, that you're going to concede 8 goals up to this point, you'd be thinking they were mad. You know what I mean? So, for me, the game on Saturday is to be tactical. This is Clement's game. He's going to. I mean, he looked at what Hearts did, kind of nullified certain parts of their game, cut the engine out, if you like. I mean, I do like this wee McGregor. He looks like he's passing the ball because he's got acres of space. And Clement will shut that down. He'll shut that down, that cuts off the supply. And to their own end, like what we did at Ibrox when we beat them strong. I know it was a dead rubber type of thing, but we proved a point there. So I think he'll kind of be looking at all of these aspects. And for me, it'll be a highly tactical game. And nullify that Maeda or something. He's quite rapid, that boy. So Sima can nullify him. We'll nullify the wings in the centre bit, and that'll give us a chance to break forward the likes of Cantwell and Sima, especially coming into the left. And as Robert says there, I'm really confident, even though we've carried a lot of injuries, we're a bit low in numbers. I really think we're going to just beat them about 2-0 or something like that. You know, keep it tight for maybe the first 20 minutes or so, nullify the crowd, and then put them to the sword type of thing.
Brad, do you expect... No, I would take that in a minute, 2-0. Stuart, that would be amazing. No, Brad, I was just going to say, are you expecting quite a tactical battle yourself in terms of Clement and what he's going to come up with?
Well, obviously, we've spoke about what players might be available, might not be, you know, so he knows he knows his squad, he knows who's going to be available. Well, I'm thinking at this time he'll know who is going to be available and who's going to be in the team and so on and so forth. But it might be a last-minute one for this or that. But really and truly, it's going to be Rangers are going to go there and they're going to sit in, give them the possession. That's what happened. And keep them at bay for the first 20 minutes, break it up a wee bit, and then we can start to step out a wee bit ourselves. Obviously, when the opportunity knocks, we will step out and counter-attack type of thing, you know. That will happen. And you've got a couple of pacey boys there, a young boy McCausland and Seaman on the other side, if you're playing them. Good out balls. And they can carry the team forward as well. So we've got it to do, but I'm sure we're capable of doing it. It's always a tough task to go there, always a tough task. And they'll be baying, you know. There are no Rangers fans there, so they'll be baying for blood, you know.
Young McCausland, Robert's been some couple of months for him, hasn't it, since he signed his new contract? And I don't know, you know, if you're young, you know, if you're good enough, you're old enough to play. We've said that, but I don't know whether if we'd had a few more other people fit, Robert, whether he would have played as many minutes over the past few weeks.
No, I think that's quite fair to say, Linda. I think his minutes would have probably been a lot less than what he has, but let's take nothing away from him. He's grabbed the opportunity. He's put in some good performances. You can see the difference in him of kind of level that he's at. He's performed well. There's still a lot of room for improvement for the lad, and this will be a big game for him on Saturday. I'm sure he'll relish the challenge and being involved in the game itself, and it could just be that kind of underdog that, as Stuart says there, you've got Seymour on the left, but you might find that McCausland is just that kind of underdog that sparks the game into life and produces some sort of moments, because I dare say that they'll think that he's probably the weakest of the starting 11 for us, just because he's a young boy. But I don't think he'll be overshadowed by that at all. I think he'll kind of be the dark horse to get involved in the game, and you never know, he might even get a goal or an assist or something, and that will be good for him as well. But I don't think he would have probably predicted this as well a few months ago when signing that contract.
Yeah, and Stuart, I suppose for young McCausland, that sometimes what he does off the ball, that maybe that's the side of his game that he's still developing, isn't it? Because if you look at the shift that Seymour puts in on the left-hand side, I mean, that guy can run all day. Sometimes maybe young McCausland perhaps maybe gets caught out a wee bit, Stuart, and it's not a criticism, it's just that he's only young, and he's, you know, this is the first time he's really played a lot of senior football.
No, you're right. I mean, if that was evident against Betis. You seen the boy did a 1-2 and he kind of never went with the guy, and that's when the left back scored the cracking goal. And you could see McCausland like, I should have kept with that guy, and he just stopped. That's not a criticism of the guy, it's just at a different level. But what I like about him is the ball sticks to him, and he's really deceptive. I think he'll tear that Greg Taylor apart, because he's murder, I'm telling you. But what I like about him is the right try usher him down the side, and he could go down that way, but when he cuts in, he just seems to be so deceptive and just glides into he brings people in, he could flick the ball off and stuff like that. So that to me is really encouraging. And he could go down to the right in that as well. And as you say, if he could get a wee bit more into his game, and he did that. I mean, if you look at that one, I can't remember what game it was. He was playing about right near the 18-yard box. The ball came to him, he flicked on to Tav, I think it was Ross County. Tav chested it down, run all the way, bang, right into the top of the goal. That was McCausland that created that. So he is creative, and Clermont's working with him. You can see him getting sort of 1 or 2% better every game, and that's going to be massive. But I think that'll be one of his tactical things, saying, look, this Greg Taylor, the ball over the top, McCausland running onto it, he'll destroy him. I'm totally convinced of it. Greg Taylor, I don't know what age he is, but he looks as if he's burnt out now. Not that he was a great player, but he's looking, that team's just dying. You could just see it. You could just see them dying. It's like a tree you've got in your garden. It's just kind of starting to wilt and all the rest of it. And this could put them to the sword. I'm hoping anyway.
Yeah, I mean, Bridge, we've got to make sure that we can go and impose ourselves on them, don't we? We have to make sure that, as Stuart says, we've got to test them at the back, because they're not any great shakes, but we need to make sure that we get enough ball in the final third so that we can make it count, Bridge.
Oh yes. But we'll do what Rangers will play the way Rangers will play. But obviously, when we do spring the ball out to the wide left and right, got to watch out for their fullbacks, because they can be a bit dirty, you know. So they take no prisoners. They're at Parkhead, they'll take no prisoners. Again, I'll say to you, and I don't know who the officials are for the game, but I'll bet you in your life there's no Rangers officials in it. Let's put it that way, or Rangers-minded officials, or anyone that even likes Rangers in their wildest dreams. They will all be anti-Rangers for 100% sure. Anti-Rangers. And Rangers players have got to watch out for that, because you'll get all these stupid things. You bump into somebody who's got a free kick against you, or you say something to one of the players, and before you know it, you're going to book it. All these stupid things will happen, because this puts the pressure onto Rangers in a great way. And Rangers players need to stand up, step up, the Rangers, do the business, and go and help yourself. It's fame. It's fame waiting for you. If you can go and beat that mob there at their own midden, you'll be wonderful. Wonderful.
Bridge, what's your blood pressure? But it's Nick Walsh is the ref and Willie Collins on V.A.R.
Well, yeah, say no more. I'm not saying that they're totally one-sided, but they're certainly no our-sided in any way, shape or form.
Aye, it's going to be interesting.
Oh, by the way, did I not see Clancy's name?
I think he's the fourth official.
Oh, Say no more. Say no more. But you
Well,
couldn't you couldn't paint that. See if you say to somebody, pick, to any Celtic player, pick your own referee and linesman. Yeah, they're all there. Oh yeah.
Bridge, don't quote me, and apologies to Mrs. Bridge for getting your blood pressure up, but I'm sure I saw Clancy as one of the officials. He might be the fourth official, but at least he's no on V.A.R and he's no refereeing.
Shocking.
I know. I suppose, Robert, we're hoping that the referees no got a lot to do with the game. There's been so much chat about penalties to Rangers, a lack of penalties against Rangers, and Robert, it becomes a bit tiresome at times, doesn't it?
It does, particularly the fact we've not had a penalty at Parkhead for 12, 13 years was it I saw the other day. So there's the conspiracy theory thrown right out the window there. But no, as you say, you want to be talking about the game, and hopefully it's a game where we've picked up 3 points and no injuries, but no referee decisions that are going to overshadow our performance and our game approach, anything like that. You want it to be an entertaining game, obviously, but one that we come out on top and certainly nullify them. I think previous Old Firm games, you look at it and you would say that their striker was a danger man. Doesn't seem to be the case this year. Their kind of target man this year is O'Reilly in the middle of the park. I think that's the one that the danger may come from. Obviously, Stuart mentioned Maeda on the wing. We know his pace, it can be there, but equally, Tav knows how to defend that, and McCausland does need to be on his guard to kind of double up if need be. But again, as long as we focus on ourselves, play our game the way we've played recently. The example would be against Betis. That was a much top quality side compared to the other half of Glasgow. So if we can put a performance in like that, there's nothing short coming than 3 points for us.
Yeah, I mean, Stuart, the midfield is going to be a bit of a sort of match winning area, I think, isn't it? And we don't know about Lundstrom, and let's hope that this injury maybe isn't as bad as was first feared, Stuart. But the way that John Lundstrom's been playing, that this game was going to be made for him, wasn't it?
Lundstrom's been, I was one of Lundstrom's biggest critics earlier on. I think I said he was slower than a wheat in Barlinnie. I know that I've been in Barlinnie, but it was kind of just not looking great at all. But as I say, when Clement's come in, he's raised his game, he's brought them all up a level, 20% or something. You see the way he's sprinting for the ball, and I'm a bit disappointed if he doesn't play. I just get a feeling he won't play. But if you look at arguably the two best games of the season, where we've been at our best was Betis, as Robert's saying, and Sparta Prague. They're the two templates he's working with, and these two teams are far better than them up the road, far better. And we kind of destroyed them, if you know what I mean, in midfield. And Sterling had a big part to play in that as well, you know what I mean, especially the Betis. So I think he's quite a tactical guy, and I think he'll get the tactics spot on, where, as Robert's saying, Riley's quite a dangerous player coming into the box. But they'll note at that, and Sterling's desperate to prove himself as well. He's going to be the midfield destroyer. If you look at what happened when Raskin was coming in, he was going to be this terror midfield destroyer. He's never really lived up to it. His passing was pretty poor. I didn't think he was fully up to speed either, although he may be flattered to deceive. But Sterling, for what he's done over the short period of time, you couldn't really draw a straw between the two of them, to be honest with you. I think he's done really well. So you're right, I think it's going to be a right battle in there. But if you look at their midfield, McGregor, he's lightweight, and he'll get 10 out. He's got to get 10 out. I didn't mean physically, I'm just talking about with the ball. He's not going to get any time on the ball at all. And that's going to be the game changer. Clement will know that. Maybe he'll start to nullify the players. And as Bridge says, we'll break away like what we've done with Betis. That's what I think we're going to beat them to. I just got that feeling. I'll wait till Ladbrokes to put a bet on, I think. Look, I'm going to go now, guys, because I've got a couple of things today. I think Ladbrokes is shut. But nice, thanks for taking my call, and what do you call it? We'll maybe speak to you maybe the morning or something. We'll see how it's all going.
Good to hear from you, Stuart. Thanks for calling in. Great points
No
as
bother.
usual.
Great
Cheers,
points.
Ed.
Thank you.
Cheers, guys. Cheers. Bye. No bother. Bye.
So we're heading into the last half hour of the show. So it'd be nice to hear from a few more callers. Call in. Numbers 0141 356 1972. Be nice to hear you for the last half hour of the show. Come in and tell us what you think of the new signing and how do you think the game's going to go on Saturday. What's your feeling yourself, Bridge? What do you think about the game on Saturday?
Well, to me, there's not very many Rangers Celtic matches aren't exciting. They're nearly always, I would say, 100 mile an hour and so on and so forth, and long busting and massive tackles and so on and so forth. I don't know whether this game's going to be like that, but I would hope it lives up to some billing. And I think I'm going for a Bridgman. I'm taking a 1-0 for Rangers. But the way I look at it, I'm not being funny when I say this. The way I look at it is don't lose. Number one, don't lose. Don't let them score a goal. And if you do that, you're halfway there. That's my opinion. So I'm going for a 1-0 for the Rangers, and I hope it's 10-0. But because they've set their stadium up and managed to get the authorities to agree to no Rangers fans in there, even though they won their case, and so on and so forth. There's a whole pile of stuff that they've won for no reason. They won it for nothing. They've been given it or gifted it, shall we say. And Rangers should have won that, and the Rangers fans should be in there, but they're not going to get there, as you know. So they're winning a lot of the ways. Now we need to show that we can win, and we can win on the pitch, and let's do it. 1-0 for me. 1-0 for me.
That'll do me nicely as well, Bridge. Robert, it is a bit of a shame about the whole situation with the fans, and I know people have got different views, and I totally respect it. Some folk just think it's better not having the away fans in either ground, but when you look back at some of the old Firm games, the footage that's been popping up on social media, and you see the Rangers fans at I know down at that end, and when we used to get halfway across that particular end of the goal, and then obviously they got the Broomlin, and when you score in the away ground and you see the fans' reaction, Robert, sometimes it is a shame, isn't it, that there isn't any away fans there?
It is, if you're looking at it from an outsider's view. Both sets of fans in the ground, they create the better atmosphere, let's be honest. Again, I said previously in the show, it's not going to go away anytime soon. There's not going to be a quick solution. Yeah. I did say before as well, even if you set a 5% away allocation, that would give us 3,000 at Parkhead and they would get 2,000 at Ibrox. But the argument there would be, we're having 1,000 more. Why is that? You're never going to win for both sides, let's be brutally honest. And it may get to the point that, as you say, it may just be no away fans at these type of games, but they certainly do create a better atmosphere. And when you score a goal, the first thing you want to do in a game like that is run to your fans and celebrate. Fans make football for me. That's it. That's why when I see players getting booked for going and celebrating with fans, I absolutely hate it, because without the fans, there is no football. It's just a game of silence and 22 guys kicking a ball about a park. You can go and see that at your local park. So for me, it is a shame. But again, I said it earlier, I think that will spur the players on to go and do it in their own backyard with no fans of our own. And let's see if there's a shark attack at the end of it, because they've got the brigade back in as well, I see. So was that because of the results, they've had to get them back in and make it a bit more atmospherical for them? Yeah. Or is it just decisions were made by them? But as Bridge said, we won our battle, but now the battle is on the park, and we need to take care of that first and foremost.
And Robert, we mentioned earlier on Cyril Dessers, and we're going into Parkhead, and he's our only fit centre forward, our only fit striker. Quite incredible, Robert, that we're going to be relying on him. But I agree with what Bridge said earlier on, that I think his game's improved. It's had to improve because we need him, but he's going to have such an important role, Robert. That ball has got to stick when it goes up to him.
Yeah, it does. He needs to hold on and get the runners off him, whether it be a McCausland, a Seema, a Cantwell, a Dowell breaking from midfield, or whoever is in that position. He needs to kind of link up the play, but importantly as well, as a striker, he needs to take his chances when he gets them. And hopefully not offside, but can put the ball away. And we've seen what he is capable of. The goal against Betis, he had a similar one against Aberdeen in the final where the keeper saved it. But again, he's getting in his positions, and it may just be that this game comes and he's the match winner, and he's a fan favourite, and it's a big goal and a big game. So if he can bring that to his game, then certainly confidence is going to be brilliant for him as well.
We've been joined by Robert. Hello, Robert. How are you?
Good evening, Linda, Brisman, and young Robert. I'm old Robert. Good evening to you all. Hope you all had a Merry Christmas.
Good Christmas to yourself, old Robert.
Oh, great one, Brisman, great one.
What's on your mind, Robert?
Right, listen, on a positive note, I'm glad that we started off early with our signings, and that's quite positive. We're not waiting to the middle of January or the end of January. We've got in there before even the windows opened. As for the wee boy we've signed, don't know too much about him. His stats don't read very well, to be honest with you. We've been doing this road with Diallo, Ramsey, etc. So I hope it's not another one of the one wonder. Don't mean to be negative. But the point I want to bring on Rangers Radio tonight, I will totally be disgusted, and I will totally be appalled if our board don't get their finger out and sign Lawrence Shankland. Give Hearts the $2.5 million, $3 million, whatever. Get him Suter, get him Lowry. Do whatever it does, because see if we sign this boy, I think that'll be the difference to us winning the league and not winning the league. And I know Brisman's, and I was in Brisman's camp for a long time about being Scottish teams and money, but I'm telling you guys and girls right now, see if we don't sign Lawrence Shankland, it's a travesty and it's disgraceful.
Robert, I'll just cut across you just now. Callum, have you joined us, Callum?
Yep.
How are you all right, Callum, yeah?
I'm fine, yep. I just wanted to say, I was listening to you earlier on, just about 5 minutes ago, and you were talking about the Rangers and Celtic, the crowds, the away fans at Parkhead and Ibrox.
Yeah.
And for me, I think the only fair way to do it is get Celtic at Ibrox and give them the Broomlow stand. Give them the Broomlow stand. Give them the 7,500. But you know what? Give us 8,000 because it's relative at Parkhead, but give us behind the goal. And that's the only fair way to get the old firm back. I grew up with old firm, the 80s, 70s. I grew up with that, and the highs and the lows. And that's the only way to get it back.
That's a
get them back.
Yeah, Callum, that's a great point you make. We'll come back to that if you just hold that thought a wee minute, because Robert's talking about Lawrence Shankland, and I'll get your views on him as well.
Okay.
Robert, come back in. So tell us the difference that Shankland will make then, Robert.
Well, Linda, the difference. Well, last night I watched the whole game, and he was pretty quiet, right? But then he steps up. And I'm sorry, see that goal Shankland scored last night? Dessers, Danilers, Lammers would never score that goal in a million years. And I'm being honest, I'm saying it, and people can call me negative all they want. That's the difference. He steps up in the big games, he scores against us, he scores against them down the road, as you know, he scores in the big games. And know what really gets me, Linda? Can you answer me this? What is it about our club? See, when you've got one of your own, Lewis Ferguson, there's another example, you're one of your own. Why do we ignore one of our own and bring in all these foreigners all the time? And have we not already been stung in the backside already with Dessers and Lammers, etc.? Why have we no? And I hope I'm wrong here, but I hope that Rangers are going to go out there and sign this boy, because he's the best striker in Scottish football. He's the best finisher by a country mile in Scottish football. He's one of our own. He would walk in hot, cold all the way from Edinburgh to sign for us. And you're not telling me if Rangers gun there, Linda, with a £2 million bid to start with, that what will happen is that boy's head will go down and he'll tell Hearts he wants to go to Rangers no matter what. So see all this talk of $5 million? No, we'll no need to pay anywhere near that. $2.5 million to get him, and I'm telling you, if we do that, Linda, we've got a really, really good chance of winning the league. And I'll say one thing, see if we don't do it, you watch the way the Rangers fans react. If we don't sign Lawrence Shankland, you watch the way the Rangers fans react towards our board and our club. I'm telling you, there's going to be a big backlash, Linda. Can I assure you that?
Robert, what price would you go up to for him? I'm not talking about a player exchange, I'm just talking about hard cash. How much would you go for him? What would be the top price?
The very, very top, and I'd be pushing the boat, Linda, the very top would be 3 million. You could maybe even throw Alex Lowry in with that, because he's not going to make it at Rangers. You could maybe even give him Suter, because you know the way Suter is. He's I know another one you can rely on, to be honest with you. So 3 million at the very most. And I think you'll get him for that, Linda. Because as I said there, his head will go down and he'll demand a move away perhaps, and then they'll have to react.
Yeah. Callum, what's your thoughts on Lawrence Shankland?
My thoughts on Lawrence Shankland, I agree that I would actually go slightly less. I would actually go 2 million and Alex Lowry. Alex Lowry and 2 million, I think we get him.
Yeah. Do you think
I really do think they will.
Yeah. Do you think do you think Hearts would take that, Callum?
I think he'd be seriously tempted. I think he'd be hard pressed to refuse that. With Lawrence Shankland demanding to come to Rangers, if we say to Hearts, we'll give you 2 million and Alex Lowry as a teaser, Lawrence Shankland would come. He would come. Yeah, of course he would come. He's a Rangers man.
Yeah.
He's a Rangers man. He would come.
Robert,
100%.
Robert, do you think there's a chance that Clement might even have another striker in mind, Robert? Just playing devil's advocate. Well, Fox
Yeah, Linda, of course there is. Now, listen, we all trust my manager. We're all behind Big Phil 100%. He's done miracles. He's been absolutely outstanding for what the hand that man's been dealt with all the injuries and all that, and what that man's done, and brought players like young Sterling and Kieran Gills came back and he's not played in months, and we're getting a tune of them. Linda, that says a lot for our manager. It tells you what a manager he is. Right, so he might have somebody else, and that's fair enough. But Linda, I just feel we've went down this road with bringing in all these formulas, and how many of them have really worked? You've got a guy in your backyard who knows the game, who doesn't need to settle into Scottish football. He knows the score, and he'll come in, and I'm telling you, Linda, he'll score. See if you give that boy three real good chances. Ron Chanton will score at least 2 out of 3 every time. That's how confident I am, and I just feel we have got to. I don't mean burst the bank, right? Because I'm not paying 4 and 5 million. No, I'm not getting that, right? And I don't think you'll need to pay anywhere near that. But Linda, we've got a chance here. Our manager's proved he's done his bit, and it's time for our board now to step up and find. And I know you've got to watch for this fair play, and I don't know how much money's available, but they've got to find a way to bring this boy in, and hopefully a couple of other signings along with him as well. So that's all I'm saying. We need to do whatever we can to get this boy, and if we can't get him, at least we've got to have a right good go at getting him. That's all I'm saying, Linda.
Yeah. Bridge, what's your thoughts? I know that you don't like us dealing with other Scottish clubs, but from what you've seen of Shankland, setting aside that issue, do you think that it is somebody we should go for?
Well, again, like the boys have said it, most people who support Rangers are saying a similar thing. Shankland's there, we should go and get him. My honest opinion is that I've got a principle on this, but as I say, if we go and get him and they pay 2.5 million or whatever it is, and they come, I'll be the first person to say welcome to Rangers. I just don't want him to. I don't want him to give Hearts any money at all. Not one brown copper coin he would be giving them. In my honest opinion, they wouldn't give us it. Let me tell you now, they wouldn't give us it. Anybody that wants any players after Rangers, they want them for nothing. And nearly every time they get it. Nearly every time.
Robert, do you see Shankland fitting into our manager's way of playing?
Linda, definitely 100%. Linda, he's a finisher, and look at the chances we created. Now, I don't mean to pick the big man because he's done a bit better, the big boy Dessers. But Linda, do you honestly think if that was Shankland against Motherwell, do you think he'd have been caught offside with these two goals? And I know the second one was really debatable. I think Shankland would have been onside, and he wouldn't have just finished day two. I think Shankland would have got 3 or 4 against Motherwell. That's only my opinion.
Young Robert, what's your views?
We all love stats and facts, right? And this is the fact here. Shankland's 28. Hearts have played 19 games this season. They've scored 20 goals, and Shankland's got 11 of them. He's a proven goal scorer in this league. He would find the back of the net for us. Now, as I said, he's carried Hearts to where they are in the league with those goals, and it's there to see. He's going to get a lot more chances, as I'll say maturer, Robert has said. I won't say older.
Older will do.
Older, Robert said that he's going to get chances. When the way we play just now, the service he'll get a barrel of chances and improving those goals. It could be an absolute difference maker. Now, I'm not going to sit and compare us to that lot across the road, but they didn't want to pay $3 million for John McGinn. Look at him. We didn't want to pay money for Lewis Ferguson. He's now been touted to join Juventus next season. I think it's time that we move on and go, there's Scottish players there that can do great for our club. He's one of our own. He can find the back of the net, and that's what's going to be the difference for us.
Callum, just a wee point about Lawrence Shankland's age. Like he's obviously, if we did sign him, there's people say, well, you're not going to get a big sell-on value, but sometimes, Callum, that's not required, isn't it? You need to get a player for the time when you need them to do a specific job, and if you get 2 or 3 years out of them, surely that's going to be worth the money.
Yes, 100%, 100%. Lawrence Shankland is a man for our time just now. We need him just now to win this title. If we sign him in January, we will win this title. Simple. It really is that simple. He's a proven goal scorer. He will win us this title. Forget about the next title. He will win us this title. And that's, at the moment, that's what I want to win. I want to win this title.
Mature Robert,
this club is all about.
Yeah, mature Robert, it's all about the here and now for you.
Yes,
100%. Yeah, Linda, 100%. And listen, I was the very first person to say, months ago, because his age being 28, I'm thinking along the lines. We sign for 2 or 3 million. We're not going to make anything back on him. You want to sign somebody at 24, 25 and make 15, 20 million on him. You're not going to get it with Lawrence Shankland. But, this is a but, Lawrence Shankland comes in and we win the league. Lawrence Shankland helps us to make £40 million, because that's what the Champions League is next year. The money's went up even more next season. It's up to around about £40-45 million. And if Lawrence Shankland comes in and scores 10, 15 goals and helps win us the league, well, there you go. You don't need to sell him on in 2 years' time for 10 or 15 million pounds, because he's already made you that. And that's the whole crux of the matter for me.
Callum, you'd come in with the point. I don't want to forget about the away allocations. The fans, I think you're spot on there. We need to have an equal allocation, and I would agree with you. And I'm going to bring young Robert in to answer that. I think it has to be parity. We cannot be stuck in a corner. And
no, I don't. I think personally, I've said this from the day one. I grew up in an era in the 80s where Celtic had the Broomlow Road stand. In fact, I grew up in the 80s when Celtic had the Broomlow Road stand, the west enclosure, and half the west main stand. I grew up with that. And as a Rangers supporter who loves beating them, that's what made it. And what I'm saying to you, the only fair way to do this, to settle this, is to say to Celtic, you can have the Broomlow Road stand, but we want 8,000 at your grounds, and we want behind the goal.
Callum, I'm going to ask the other guys. I'll ask the other guys their opinion on that. Robert Weatherall, would you agree with that? Yes or no?
What Callum's saying, as long as we get all the restricted views down at the piggery, yes, 100%.
I don't want restricted views.
That's what I'm saying, Callum. Yes, Linda.
Right, Callum, we'll bring you back in a minute. Bridge, would you be all? What would you say, Bridge, if we went back to an equal allocation and we didn't get the restricted views?
Well, can I just say, I know it's a pipe dream, and it's what I want to go back to when it used to be a Rangers end and a Celtic end. You follow what I mean?
Yes.
So that would be wonderful. And that means there'll be no Green Brigade at a Rangers Celtic match, and that may not be acceptable. But they would need to re-engineer their stadium then to a certain extent for a Rangers Celtic match, and they need to get the old traditional Rangers end and Celtic ends, so that you've got an equal amount or an equal percentage, shall we say, of the ground allocated to the away fans. And that, if that means it's going to be the whole broom lawn, then fine. Base it on that. What's the percentage of the broom lawn? Then do that to the Celtic end. At the end. But I have to say, and I'm not being funny when I say this, they'll never let us in. Never let us in behind their goals. Never. And I'm an older person, as you know, very much older. And I'm telling you now, as far as I'm concerned, I don't ever want to see them back in Ibrox. That's my opinion.
Young Robert, what's your views? Would you go with it?
In an ideal world, Linda, I'd love to have both sets of fans at the derby games. It's what it's known for. The atmosphere, the atmosphere, the entertainment. Yes. If your team goes 1-0 behind, your fans spur you on. We've seen how hard it is to get back into a game when your fans aren't there. If it is 8,000 to them, then we want 8,000 as well. But those are discussions that obviously are way above what we talk about on here. They'd have to talk about, like as Stuart said, they'd have to look at their stadium plans, because if you give us behind the goal, we are right next to the Green Brigade, and if we give them a broomland, then there's a lot of our season ticket holders and they need to be moved as well. So it's going to be difficult to accommodate everybody, but I hope it can get resolved for this, the atmosphere of the game and the game, as I said earlier, the game's for fans. It's us that run the football, let's be fair, and we've lost like that over the years.
Well, there's certain people that say they wouldn't give them a seat on the bus, so I think we'll leave it. I think we'll leave it at that. Listen, guys, we've reached that time of the evening. We're going to start winding down the show, so I'll get last words from our callers. We've got mature Robert Weatherall in just now. A wee final word for you, Robert. What are you thinking about the weekend?
What I'm thinking about the weekend, and thanks for taking my call, Linda. What I'm thinking about the weekend, so we're up against it. We've got no support down there at all. But you know what? Our grandfathers went into the trenches and we're up against it and came out victorious. And I think the Glasgow Rangers can do it. Just keep it tight for the first 20 minutes, frustrating, and I'm going to predict Game 1, Glasgow Rangers 2. And Linda, thanks for taking my call. It's been great coming. I know I wish I'd come in earlier on. I've really enjoyed the show tonight. Thanks to you, Bridgeman, young Robert, and to Callum and everybody else.
Cheers, Robert. Great to hear from you, and I hope your prediction comes true. Callum, last word for your good self. Thanks for calling in.
Well, I just want to say, Linda, that I've been listening to your show tonight. I'm looking forward. I'm going up to Edinburgh. I'm going up to Edinburgh for the Old Firm game, and I'm going to watch it with trepidation. I'm going to lie to you, in trepidation. But I swear to God, if we win on Saturday, I'm going to go ballistic. Absolutely ballistic. Absolutely ballistic.
Well said,
and that's what it's about. That is what it's all about. It's about enjoying your football.
Yeah, good.
It's not about Rangers. It's not about that Catholic project. It's not about that. It's about enjoying your football.
Good for you,
It's
Callum.
about enjoying your foot. Yeah.
Well,
so,
make sure you call back in after you've gone ballistic.
I can guarantee you, if we win on Saturday, I will go absolutely ballistic. Oh dear. Right. So I'm going to wish you all the best, Linda.
Cheers,
Wish
Callum.
Rangers Radio all the best. I will listen to your show for years.
Good.
I love every second of it.
That's
And
brilliant. We
I just like to
appreciate
wish
it.
you all the best and all the best for Saturday.
Magic. Cheers, Callum.
We are the people. We are the people, Linda. We are the people.
Well said, that man. Young Robert.
Oh, great show tonight, Linda. Great being on with yourself and Bridgeman, of course. Some good talking points tonight, and let's go on to Saturday, get the 3 points, and let's all have a very happy new year and wishes all the best when it comes.
Superb, Robert. Bridgeman.
Oh, what can I say, Linda? Fantastic show. Really enjoyed it. Thank you to yourself and to your techie guys in the background. And young Robert for carrying me through it. Can I just say to all the Rangers fans all over the world that are listening in here, huge game, biggest game of the century coming up at the weekend. And we are going to their place. So we need to go there and we need to win. So everybody, every single person, this is our team, this is our club, and we are the people. Remember that, we are the people. And I'm giving it for a 1-0 to the Rangers, a Bridgeman for the Rangers. That's what I'm saying. Everybody keep it going for the Rangers, because the Rangers need us, and they'll need us on Saturday. Keep it going.
Can I thank the guys that called in, Stuart, that called in earlier, Robert and Callum, some great points and some good discussions. Can I thank young Robert and Bridgeman for helping me do the show, Fox and Old School Blue for doing the technicals. This has been Rangers Radio. We'll be back tomorrow night when we'll be really building up to a huge game on Saturday. So thanks for listening. Good night, everyone. Take it away.
God.